Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Juan Solo here with ASQD Gaming, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in today for some more State of Decay 2. So in today's video, we're actually going to be going down through all of the patch notes for the Choose Your Own Apocalypse update that we got yesterday, and we're going to be talking about a boatload of new things that they actually added with this update, other than the two new difficulties. So there's a bunch of user experience updates, core gameplay adjustments, and updates and stuff like that that you guys are going to want to know about for those of you guys that are playing the new difficulty, and for those of you guys that are going to be playing the original core game. All of these changes are going to apply to you, and a lot of these things are really cool and things that we've been asking for, and it's definitely going to make your life easier in the world of State of Decay 2. So from community request, they actually added a new character manager that allows you to view and edit all your collection of legacy survivors each time you complete a legacy. So you're going to be able to see all your legacy characters and stuff like that, and you're going to be able to showcase them. And now your characters are not deleted behind the scenes when you complete a legacy and exceed the 50 character cap. Instead, each time you add a new character to the pool, you have a chance to manually select which legacy survivor you keep and which one you're going to dismiss if you guys are at that 50 character cap. And now this one for me is a big one here. So we actually have a new menu that's going to allow us to select which map we play when creating a new community, entering a new zone, or switching to a new map. So for instance, at the start of the game, you want to create a new community, you can pick the map that you're going to be going to, as well as when you obviously change from map to map, you're going to be able to choose exactly what map you go to. And then also when you're picking a new difficulty, you're also going to be able to choose what map you're going to be going to, which is very nice because I remember at the start of the game, I wanted to play Meager Valley, and I literally had to start a new community like 8 or 9 times to finally get that map because it was basically a random spawn. So this is very convenient. So also a couple of new things here. So when you are low on a particular resource, rucksacks containing that resource will pulse to draw attention to themselves. So that's kind of cool. It's going to kind of give you a heads up, and it's going to kind of give you an idea of where to go to look for those, as well as notifications for positive events like influence rewards are now flashier and easier to notice, so that you're going to have a little bit more notification. You're going to be able to see that, so they're not going to be quite as hard to find, which is nice. So now we got a couple other things here we're going to be talking about, and with this we're talking about a little bit of Red Talon stuff. So new Red Talon recruits can no longer receive the backup good example hero bonus, according to the devs, because it's kind of pathetic compared to the other unique Red Talon ones. So that one is completely gone out of the game. You don't have to worry about getting that one anymore. I don't know if that is retroactive with characters that already have it. I think if you have characters with that trait already on there, you're pretty much stuck with it. So that kind of sucks. But also your follower is now treated as a high priority character by the population management. So this basically makes it so that they no longer will wink out of existence when you approach a base full of people, which sometimes is nice because the way they did it with the people in the base and stuff like that is they only have so many of them on screen at one time. So sometimes it's kind of hard to find somebody particular. Now your follower won't be kind of in that group. They'll always be there. You don't have to worry about them disappearing on you. So now a couple little small changes that they also made. So beyond with community requests, this is basically, I'm going to go down through some of these that are actual gameplay changes. So sneaking with the stealth skill no longer causes involuntary movement. That was something that the community was requesting that they added into this update. They also improved how your character held some firearms to make them sure that their hands lined up with the proper grips and stuff like that. That was a community request. Some of the animations and stuff were just a little bit broken, so they did adjust that so that it does look a little bit more proper. Also, with those, Clio weapons now award the correct experience types for improving fighting specializations like striking and swordplay. So those are two little things that you're going to be changed a little bit to kind of reward the proper experience types and stuff. So also, your character now remembers the state of their flashlight as they get in and out of vehicles. So if you get in a vehicle with your light on, you're going to be getting out of the vehicle with your light on. So that's something that I never really noticed. It really wasn't that big of a deal for me. You got in it with it on, you got out of the vehicle, you had to turn it back on. Not a big deal, but that's something that the community really wanted to change. So now you can also break open the rucksack on your back while searching a container. So you don't no longer have to actually exit the container or whatever that you're searching to actually do that. So now this one here is kind of a big one when it comes to zombies. So ambient zombies now actively avoid entering the safe zones around player bases, enclave bases, outposts, and other secured sites. So this is something that I kind of noticed basically from the start of the game is there really was no reward to actually securing an area and making it a safe zone, because there was like the big circle on the map around the area that you're at after you cleared it, and it made it a safe zone, but it didn't really seem like it affected how the zombies behaved, because they would just come waltzing into the safe zone no matter what. Sometimes you would just clear a safe zone and you're still standing in it and there would be zombies all around. So this one is kind of nice. So ambient zombies now actively will avoid entering the safe zone around player bases and stuff like that. So a safe zone is sort of actually going to be an actual safe zone, so which is very, very nice. So they basically said that they will chase you inside if you get their attention and then you go into a safe zone. It's not like you're going to hit like a wall and the zombies are just going to stop. So if you accidentally attract them, or you aggro them or something like that, they're going to come into the safe zone, but they won't just wander in for no reason. So if you kill all the zombies around your base that's kind of in the safe zone, you really won't have to worry about those unless there's an attack or something like that, which is going to be really nice. I hope this carries across to all the difficulty modes, because that's going to be a pain in the butt if you always have zombies just linger around your base, even though technically it's a safe zone. So now when we're talking about Plague Hearts, they actually made it so that Plague Hearts now drop more loot in addition to the usual plague samples. So I don't exactly know what loot they're going to drop, but the devs did put a little note next to this, and it said, let's not think too hard about how these items got there. So who knows, they might be dropping rucksacks, they might be dropping guns and ammo and all sorts of stuff. So the Plague Hearts are going to be a little bit more rewarding when you kill them, because they're going to have a chance to drop some really good items, as well as the loot gets better in the dread zones and reaches its apex in nightmare zones. So with that, the more Plague Hearts and stuff you kill on higher difficulties, the more good loot you're actually going to be receiving from killing those Plague Hearts, which is going to be nice, which is going to make them kind of a primary source of loot, especially in the upper difficulties. So some other things that they also fixed with this update, one of these are, like I said, all community requests and stuff. So they fixed a bunch of terrain and geometry glitches and stuff that made it so that when you unexpectedly crashing vehicles or getting stuck and stuff like that. They also fixed a number of areas where characters would be falling through the world, like through the ground and stuff. They also made some improvements to the hostile human AI, particularly around their base. So you guys might notice that the AI, actually human AI, might behave a little bit differently than before, because they did do some overhauling and some updates and stuff to their actual AI. So they might act a little bit differently. And then they also obviously made more improvements to the multiplayer stability. So these are just kind of some of the core things that they changed. This isn't all of them. I will link the entire patch notes down in the description below for you guys to check out. So now let's jump back up and talk about the in-depth details surrounding the new two difficulty modes and how those are going to be working. So the first one we're actually going to be talking about is the Dread Zone. So this is the first difficulty that you're actually going to be going into if you want to go sort of the medium route. This is going to be kind of like your second tier difficulty, and then we're going to have the Nightmare Zone that's going to be obviously the ultimate difficulty that you guys have all been wanting. So in the Dread Zone, the legacy boons that you actually get by playing the core game, a legacy boon must actually be earned in either a Dread Zone or a Nightmare Zone before you can use it in a Dread Zone. So for instance, all of you guys that have the legacy boons in your normal playthrough, you're not going to be able to use those until you actually earn one in the zone that you're actually playing in. So you're not going to have those added buffs when you actually play these new difficulties, which is just going to kind of make it even harder. So now with the communities in these difficulty modes, morale is going to be lower by default, though you can earn some new temporary morale bonuses. The threat level is also elevated, making sieges at your base more frequent and more dangerous, and some facility costs more to build and to use. So the facility costs and stuff like that are going to be more as you build them, as well as the operating cost of those facilities is going to be higher, as well as there's going to be less loot. So all the way across the board, when you're running your facilities and stuff, it's going to be definitely a headache, and you're definitely going to have to be paying attention to and micromanaging and stuff to kind of make things work. And then also some radio commands cost more influence and may have longer cooldowns between uses. So the radio and stuff that you're going to be using is also going to be slightly nerfed, so it's going to be harder to actually issue those commands more often, and they're also going to cost more influence. So now with zombies and freaks are more numerous, hordes are larger and more frequent, and some of them wear armor. Zombie attacks do more damage and cause more injuries, as well as zombies are no longer visible on the minimap unless your active character has the scouting skill. So unless you have a character with the scouting skill, no zombies are actually going to be showing up on the minimap. Like, that was one of the cool things, is like when you actually aggroed a zombie, they would show up on the minimap, so you could kind of get an idea of if you're going to be getting overrun. Now that feature is gone unless you have a character with the scouting skill. And then also zombies can hear your gunshots from farther away. They will also spend more time chasing a noise before losing interest. So for instance, if you shoot a gun you're going to have a lot of zombies on you because they're going to obviously hear it from farther away, and they're not going to give up so easy when they hear a noise, as well as they no longer have their attention drawn to noisemakers if they have already spotted a human. So if they've spotted a human, if they spotted you, the noisemakers aren't gonna work. So that is very interesting. Those were actually kind of a crutch when you got overwhelmed by zombies and stuff like that. If you couldn't get to a vehicle, you threw a noisemaker or something like that that would kind of distract them. They're not going to work if they already spotted you. So that's going to be very interesting to see exactly how that plays out. And then also with the blood plague, it's actually more infectious and kills you faster. So plague hearts are harder to kill and drop more rewards like we talked about earlier. Plague hordes are much larger, and the actual plague juggernauts are on the loose. So you're going to be seeing those in both difficulties. And then the fumes from damaged plague hearts cause blood plague. So if you're in there attacking a blood plague heart and you get too close, it's going to give you the blood plague automatically. So that's something that you're going to have to think about when you're going in there to attack it. Also with this difficulty, hostile human NPCs are more alert, aggressive, they do more damage, and they also can survive headshots before dying. I'm not sure how I feel about that last one. I just feel like adding health to them kind of just, it still kind of doesn't really, I don't know. I think they could have went other routes with the difficulty of the NPCs. Being the fact that now they can eat 2 or 3 headshots before they die. That's going to be a little bit frustrating. And then also with this scavenging, there's going to be fewer resources and items to be found in the world. Some of the sites in each map have been completely looted before you even get there, so you're going to see that that location is grayed out, which is going to signify that there's no loot. And there are fewer vehicles on the map, and the vehicles that you do find are more likely to be damaged or low on fuel. And then collisions and zombie attacks do more damage to vehicles, so you're going to have to be careful when you're out in the open world using those vehicles because they're going to be a little bit more fragile. So now moving on to the Nightmare Zone. So this is going to have all of the challenges that we just mentioned in the Dread Zone, plus what we're going to be talking about here. So a legacy boon must be earned in a Nightmare Zone before you can use it in a Nightmare Zone. So even if you do the harder difficulty, which is the Dread Zone, you earn an actual legacy boon and stuff like that, it's not going to work in the highest difficulty. You actually have to earn that legacy in that Nightmare Zone to actually use it in there. So to actually have those buffs, you're going to have to try to play all the way through and complete legacies in the Nightmare difficulty, which is going to be insane. For those of you guys that actually do that, I commend you already because that's going to be absolutely insane. Then it also says a legacy boon that has only been earned in a standard zone or dread zone will be disabled upon entering a Nightmare Zone. So that kind of also touches on that. If you have one from another zone, it's actually going to be deactivated as soon as you enter the Nightmare Zone. So with the Nightmare Zone with your community members consume more food daily, so that you're going to have to actually worry about this a little bit more. Standing and experience gains are reduced, and facility cost much more to build and to use. So everything across the board when it comes to how much stuff that the community is going to consume, as well as how much your facilities are going to cost to build and run, is all increased in this zone. And then also with the zombies are even more likely to inflict injuries. There's significantly more freaks and hordes in the world. Zombies have an extremely long memory for when noises came from, and they can actually reach you and draw more zombies to investigate. So once they hear a noise, you're going to be in trouble. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Screamers draw more zombies when they scream, and then they also come in packs with bloaters, screamers, and ferals. They can all actually come in packs. So if you get a whole pack of screamers that start, lighting off, you're going to have a boatload of zombies on your hands. So also with this, the blood plague is even more, it's more potent. And I believe what they said is if you get the blood plague on the highest difficulty, it's 10 minutes. So once you get the blood plague, 10 minutes, your character's dead if you do not give them the cure. Hostile NPCs do even more damage than the Dread Zone, as well as they can actually headshot you to almost kill you instantly, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, because if I'm dipping and dodging and they have like super good aim because they're an NPC, that's going to be really frustrating. And then also with the scavenging on the Nightmare mode, there's going to be even fewer resources and items to be found in the open world. Many of the sites in each map have been completely looted before you get there. Vehicles are even rarer and tend to show up broken down and out of gas, and guns are more likely to break or jam. So guns are going to go quicker. Vehicles, you're almost going to have a repair kit and a gas can when you find them because they're not going to be able to be moved. So that's pretty much the majority of the changes with this update, guys. I know this video is a little bit longer. There was a boatload of changes that I wanted to showcase in this video, give you guys all the information that you had. I also was going to be playing some of the actual gameplay from the Nightmare Zone in the background, started up a new community and stuff like that. And for those of you guys that are playing on one of your existing communities, all you have to do is go into the start menu. Once you equip that community, and go in and change the difficulty, and that'll bring them into the new difficulties. but also at the main menu, once you choose a new community, it's going to kind of prompt you to choose a difficulty. So those are going to be pretty much the ways you actually get into the new difficulties. But overall, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, you guys are excited about the new DLC that came out with the new difficulties, make sure to drop a like on the video and also subscribe if you are new to stay up to date on all changes with State of Decay 2 moving forward. And if I hear any more information about the Trumbull Valley DLC or anything like that, I will be sure to let you guys know on the channel, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But overall, guys, that's all for the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.